Someone is watching a Batman movie. He has no superpowers, no alien strength, no magic ring, just a cape, a cause, and an obsession with justice. But he didn't start as a global icon. He started as a pulp detective sketch, drawn in a matter of weeks to meet a deadline. This is the story of how a bat-costumed vigilante became the most enduring hero in pop culture. This is the evolution of Batman. 1939, a character is born. Publisher National Comics asks writer Bill Finger and artist Bob Kane for a new hero. Inspired by pulp detectives, vampire films, and Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine sketches, they create a masked vigilante. He debuts in Detective Comics issue 27 with no superpowers, only intellect, wealth, and willpower. 1939 to 1940, The Dark Detective. Early Batman stories are grim and violent, closer to noir crime fiction than children's entertainment. He carries a gun in his earliest appearances and is not afraid to kill. Within a year, editors soften him. The gun disappears and a strict no-killing code begins to take shape. 1940, Robin joins the story. Writers introduce Dick Grayson, a young circus acrobat who becomes Batman's crime-fighting partner, Robin. The addition lightens the tone and gives young readers a character closer to their own age. Batman is no longer a lone shadow. He now has a partner and a mission passed down. 1940s, building the mythology. Iconic elements begin appearing one by one. The Batcave, the Batmobile, Alfred the Butler, and Commissioner Gordon. Classic villains emerge, including the Joker and Catwoman, giving Batman a rotating cast of dangerous rivals. By the end of the decade, Gotham City itself feels like a living, breathing character. 1950s, comics under pressure. A national moral panic over comic books leads to new industry censorship rules. Batman stories shift away from crime and shadows toward lighter, more fantastical science fiction adventures. Aliens, time travel, and bizarre transformations begin replacing the dark detective tone of the early years. 1966, Batman Goes Mainstream. A campy, brightly colored live-action television series starring Adam West becomes a massive pop culture hit. Onomatopoeia fight graphics, POW, BAM, ZAP, and tongue-in-cheek humor define the show's style. For an entire generation, this colorful, comedic version becomes the face of Batman. 1970s, The Return to Darkness. Writers Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams consciously steer Batman back toward his noir detective roots. The bright, campy tone fades, replaced by moody artwork and psychologically complex storytelling. Batman becomes, once again, a creature of the night rather than a punchline. 1986, The Dark Knight Returns. Writer-artist Frank Miller publishes a graphic novel imagining an older, battle-worn Batman coming out of retirement. It's grim, political, and violent, a stark contrast to decades of lighter portrayals. The story reshapes how both fans and filmmakers would imagine Batman for decades to come. 1989, Batman hits, the big screen director. Tim Burton releases a gothic, visually striking Batman film starring Michael Keaton. Jack Nicholson's Joker becomes a box office sensation, and the film proves a dark tone can succeed commercially. Batman merchandise, from t-shirts to lunchboxes, explodes across the world. 1992, Batman, the Animated Series. A stylish, noir-inspired cartoon reimagines Gotham with Art Deco visuals and a haunting orchestral score. Critics and fans alike consider it one of the finest adaptations of the character ever produced. An entire generation of future writers and filmmakers grows up shaped by this version of Batman. 1997, a franchise nearly collapses. The film Batman and Robin, criticized for its campy tone and toy-driven design choices, becomes a critical and commercial disappointment. Studio confidence in the character takes a serious hit. For a few years, Batman's future on the big screen looks uncertain. 2005, Batman Begins. Director Christopher Nolan relaunches the franchise with a grounded, realistic origin story starring Christian Bale. The film treats Bruce Wayne's trauma, training, and motivations with unusual psychological depth. Batman is reborn as a serious, credible action hero for a new era of filmmaking. 2008, The Dark Knight Heath Ledger's chaotic, philosophical portrayal of the Joker earns widespread critical acclaim. The film blurs the line between superhero movie and crime thriller, breaking box office records worldwide. Ledger's posthumous Academy Award cements the film's place in cinema history. 2012, The Dark Knight Rises. Nolan closes his trilogy with a story about legacy, sacrifice, and what a symbol can outlive. The trilogy as a whole redefines what a comic book film franchise can achieve artistically and commercially. Batman is no longer seen as children's entertainment, he's treated as serious cinema. 2016 to 2017, A Different Kind of Batman. Ben Affleck portrays an older, more brutal Batman in a shared cinematic universe with other DC heroes. Reactions are divided, and the character's tone shifts once again toward grim, war-hardened intensity. Fans debate fiercely over which version of Batman best represents the character's spirit. 2022, the Batman director Matt Reeves reimagines the character as a detective-first, noir-soaked figure investigating Gotham's corruption. Robert Pattinson's version leans into isolation, obsession, and grief rather than gadgets and spectacle. The film proves audiences still crave a grounded, mystery-driven take on the character. 2020s, a multiverse of Batman. Animated films, video games, and streaming series now let multiple versions of Batman coexist simultaneously. Fans can choose between campy, gothic, noir, or brutal interpretations, all under the same name. The character has become flexible enough to be reinvented endlessly without losing his core identity. 2030s, projected, the next reinvention. Future adaptations may explore new technology, new actors, and entirely new visual styles for Gotham. Interactive media and immersive formats could let audiences experience Batman's world more directly than ever before. Whatever form he takes next, the core idea, an ordinary man who chooses to become a symbol, is likely to remain unchanged. From a rush sketch drawn to fill a deadline, to a character reinvented across comics, television, and cinema for more than 8 decades. Batman was never defined by superpowers. He was defined by choice, discipline, and grief transformed into purpose. The next version of Batman hasn't been imagined yet, but somewhere, right now, a writer or artist is already sketching what comes next. Subscribe, because when the next evolution happens, we'll be there to show you first.